My name is Edith Haslinger. I'm Senior Scientist at the AIT, Austrian Institute of Technology, Center for Energy, based in Vienna. We are Austria's largest non-university research institution. My doctoral studies I completed in 2004 in Vienna in the subjects geochemistry and petrology. I'm project manager of geothermal projects, both for deep geothermal and shallow geothermal, and I collaborate with industry, other research institutions, and also technical offices. I landed in the field of geothermal energy by pure chance. Before I was working as a nearly pure geochemist, a lot in the laboratory, and then a colleague of mine asked me about a special geological zone in Austria where you can find a lot of geothermal installations, and then I provided her the information she needed, and then she asked me if I wanted to deal a little bit more with geothermal energy, and I said I have no idea about geothermal energy, and then I got quite interested, and I spent the whole summer reading a lot and interviewing other colleagues who worked with geothermal energy at that time. And then I got intrigued and interested, and then I completely fell for this subject, and also I started to teach nearly immediately, and since then I'm completely dedicated to geothermal. What I enjoy most about my work is that I get to go to the field a lot, or sometimes at least. So I still take samples, I take water samples, I take rock samples or drill cores. So I get to go out in nature and also to geothermal plants, and I do measurements and I collect the samples. And this is what I enjoy very much. And also I still work many times in the laboratory, which I also have enjoyed since I'm a geochemist. So this is what I enjoy most, to work with my hands and take samples and be out in nature, and also in plants, and sometimes I have to crawl down a steep ladder to go to the wellhead, but this is what I really enjoy, also the physical aspect of the work. And what I enjoy at least is, like also the other interviews said already, I also don't enjoy all the administrative work that comes together with the project coordination and everything, and also the legal contracts and invoices and everything. So and also writing reports can be tedious from time to time, but this is part of the game. So you can't only have the good sides, you also have to do some paperwork. The most interesting aspect of working with geothermal technologies is that geothermal is not one uniform, homogeneous field of knowledge. It is rather a combination of different field subjects. You have drilling, you have engineering, you have technical, you have geology, you have geochemistry, hydrochemistry, you have political aspects as well as social aspects, economic aspects. So for geothermal project, for a successful geothermal project, you really have to combine all of these fields and knowledge and experiences. And so this is the most interesting, also to work together with those fields, with the different people, with other perspectives, other ideas. And so everybody works together for a common goal to have more geothermal in the end in Europe. And the key is really communication. Communication is the key for this, and this is also what I enjoy a lot, to exchange ideas, to exchange know-how, to combine ideas, and to get maybe some other perspectives and fresh perspectives. The biggest challenge for women working in STEM, in my opinion, is that most of the fields in STEM are still very male-dominated. For instance, geothermal energy combines the fields of engineering, drilling, energy technology, building and construction, and those fields are still very male-dominated. For geothermal energy, this has improved a lot since the last 10 years, since I have been working in this field, and more women go into the field of geothermal energy, which is very fortunate. And it is also very important that women working in those male-dominated fields form networks and support each other, in my opinion. And I'm also mentoring young scientists, young female scientists, and I participate in Girls' Days. So this is really important to that we support each other, and also the support of male colleagues, of course. And also especially challenging is if we are a dedicated scientist, and also a dedicated mother like myself of 2 young children, then you really want to be full in the science, be full in the field, work and be in the laboratory and in the field and at conferences. But you also want to be 100% mother, and also want your family life. And this can be a struggle as well, because you have the feeling that you fall short of everything. Either the family life or the scientific life suffers, and you have to juggle a lot. So this is why it's very important to have a good network, to have an understanding and supportive partner, to have grandparents, friends, whoever who can help you with a family. So, but it's still a struggle, of course, at times. GeoFIT deals with the refurbishment of existing buildings with geothermal technologies, and for this we develop tools and methods for the fast deployment of those methods. This project is important, especially at this time, because in the last few weeks we have seen that we have to get rid of the dependency on fossil fuels, especially for space heating, as soon as possible. And for space heating especially, we have a lot of different options to provide the energy for heating and cooling. And geothermal energy is one of the key technologies to have a success in the heat transition towards a sustainable and renewable energy. And so this is the exact time that we need GeoFIT. A lot of people want to get rid of their fossil fuel-based space heating at the moment, and yeah, so we support those people with our technologies, because a lot of people live in existing buildings, and for those buildings it is especially interesting to have refurbishment options with geothermal energy. In the project, I work in work package 3 mostly, which is dedicated to the design of a special kind of ground source heat exchanger, which is especially suitable for the refurbishment of existing building with geothermal energy. And also we develop an engineering tool for the configuration and simulation of those ground source heat exchangers. I supervised the lab experiments that we did, where we tested, where we built models of those spiral ground source heat exchangers and put them in the climate chamber. And also we performed different tests, also thermophysical measurements, all to measure the thermal efficiency of different configurations of those spiral heat exchangers. My colleagues from AIT, they performed CFD simulations for all our different scenarios. And both the experiments and the measurements in the lab, they were now input into the engineering tool for the configuration of those ground source heat exchangers, which is done by a colleague from the Netherlands, who is also the work package leader. The biggest challenge in technical terms or scientific terms for the laboratory experiments that we had very ambitious goals for those experiments. So the design of experiments is a very creative process, and of course you want to cover everything, every aspect, and so we planned many different variations for those collectors, different sediment types, different configurations, different shapes and diameters. But in the end, reality caught up. So we were faced with difficulties with measuring equipment and also delays. And of course, like everybody, we were also affected by the COVID pandemic and the lockdowns. So we had delays in the performance of the laboratory experiments, and so we had to downsize our experiments a lot and redesign those and also to have the good results in the end still. And so this was the biggest challenge during our work. Yeah, like I said, we tackled those problems with changing the design of our lab experiments, downsizing and also reducing the variations. And we had to buy new equipment because we also faced some problems with the measuring equipment. So we had to replace something, and also with a lot of communication internally and also with our work package leader, because he was responsible for the designing of the programming of the design tool. So which results do we need in order to fulfill our goal to have enough data for the tool, and I also have a good and high quality. So the redesigning of the laboratory experiments was a lot of communication in and outside the team. The results so far are quite promising, and we are very happy with what we have achieved for the project. And our main success was really the development of the design engineering tool for the spiral heat collectors, because this is central for the deployment of those ground source heat exchangers for the refurbishment of existing buildings with geothermal energy. My experience with working in the GeoFIT project was very positive because the project really reflects the different aspects of geothermal energy. Like I said before, that geothermal energy is not one field of science or technology. It is really a combination of all kind of aspects and science and different technologies and also different people. So a lot was communication and learning from others and having new perspectives on your field, and this was really great in the GeoFIT project. GeoFIT is not my first European R&D project, but by far the largest with 24 partners. So really hats off to Tom and Marco, who coordinate this GeoFIT project, and also Hank, our scientific coordinator. And my opinion on this type of research initiative is that it's really positive for the scientific community, because you really see that your ideas and visions for the project really then realized in our demonstration site, and it's not your results don't land in a drawer and are forgotten, but you really the heat pumps are really built, the refurbishment really takes place. So your project ideas and your visions and everything you work on for many years intensively with different partners from different countries really manifest themselves then in real life projects, in real demonstrations, at real sites, and your ideas really make a difference for people, and is also good for the deployment of the geothermal energy vision. I really enjoy working in the GeoFIT project. It is a great project with many great people, great minds, great ideas. The collaboration is really good, and I would absolutely recommend everybody working in geothermal energy and also different fields to collaborate also in big European projects, especially if they are dedicated to real life implementation of scientific results.